There's something I need you to hear, and I want you to hear it with the full weight of your chest. Because right now, without you realizing it, a woman in your life may be sending you signals so subtle, so quietly powerful, that you're walking right past them, and you don't even know what she's actually trying to give you. Stop scrolling for a second and just listen. If you've ever wondered whether a woman wants to open herself to you emotionally, mentally, and soul deep, this is where you finally learn the truth. And stay with me till the end because there's something important you absolutely need to hear before you make any move with her. And before we dive deeper, hit that subscribe and like button so you never miss the psychology that most men never get access to. I'm Mary Smith, and this is the Mindful Senior Living channel, where we talk about the deeper truths most people overlook when it comes to connection, relationships, and emotional intelligence. And today, I want to gently guide you into something most men spend years trying to understand, but rarely fully grasp: the quiet, almost invisible ways a woman begins to open herself to a man she feels drawn to. Now let me speak to you directly for a moment, because this part matters more than anything else you're about to hear. If you've ever sat across from a woman and felt something was there, but you couldn't quite explain it. If you've ever replayed conversations in your mind wondering, was she just being nice, or was there something more? If you've ever felt that subtle tension between curiosity and doubt, then you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not wrong for feeling that way. The truth is, most of these signals were never meant to be loud. They were never designed to be obvious. They live in the quiet spaces, in pauses, in glances, in the tone of a voice that softens without permission. And once you begin to see them clearly, something shifts inside you. You stop guessing, you stop overthinking, you start understanding. You're about to step into her internal world, the world she hides from almost every man. The world where her body language shifts without her permission, where her tone softens in ways she can't control, and her instinct pulls her toward you even when she tries to hide it behind confidence, humor, or distance. And I want you to stay with me here, because what you're about to understand isn't just about attraction. It's about emotional access. It's about trust forming beneath the surface before a single word is spoken. You see, women don't always confess attraction directly. In fact, most of the time they won't. Not because they're playing games, but because emotionally it's far more vulnerable for them. Instead, they reveal it through patterns, through shifts, through small openings they hope the right man will notice. And maybe, just maybe, you're that man, but no one ever taught you how to read what she's silently offering. A woman doesn't give herself lightly. And when I say give herself, I don't mean just physically. I mean emotionally, mentally, spiritually. That kind of openness is rare. It's precious. And when it begins to happen, it's because something in you has activated something in her. It could be a sense of safety she hasn't felt before. It could be the way you listen without interrupting. It could be your steadiness, your presence, your ability to stay grounded when she expects you to pull away like others have. Whatever it is, it creates a shift, a quiet pull she can't fully explain. And this is where many men make a mistake. They look for obvious signs, big gestures, clear confessions. But attraction at the deepest psychological level doesn't announce itself like that. It whispers. It reveals itself through instinct rather than intention. Through reactions she doesn't fully understand herself. Let me give you an example. There was a man I once spoke to. He was in his late 50s, thoughtful, calm, but deeply confused about a woman he had been seeing in social settings. He told me, "She listens to me differently. I can't explain it, but when I speak, it's like she's really there. But she never says anything direct." And I asked him a simple question. "Does she do that with everyone?" He paused. Then he said, "No, not at all." That's where it begins. When a woman listens to you with full presence, when she leans in not just physically, but emotionally, that's not casual. That's not something she offers freely to everyone. That's attention with intention behind it. And attention, when it comes from a woman, is one of the earliest forms of emotional investment. You'll start to notice it in her eyes. They linger just a second longer than necessary, not in a way that feels intense or overwhelming, but in a way that feels curious. Almost like she's trying to understand you beyond your words. That's emotional curiosity, and it's incredibly important because curiosity is what opens the door to connection. You may also notice that she begins valuing your opinions in subtle ways. She might ask, "What do you think about this?" or bring up something you said days ago, showing you she's been thinking about it. And here's where I want you to pay close attention. This isn't about agreement, it's about consideration. When a woman considers your thoughts, it means she's placing weight on them. There's also something fascinating that happens beneath her awareness. She begins mirroring you, your tone, your pace, even your sense of humor. This isn't imitation in a conscious sense. It's alignment. It's her nervous system saying, this feels familiar, this feels safe, and safety is everything. Let me slow this down for a moment because this is where it gets deeper. When a woman starts giving you the gentler version of herself, the one she doesn't show to just anyone, that's not accidental. That's a sign her guard is softening. You'll hear it in her voice. It lowers slightly. It becomes warmer. You'll see it in her gestures. She might tuck her hair behind her ear. Even her breathing changes. And I know that sounds subtle, but it matters. Around someone she feels safe with, her body relaxes. Her breathing becomes slower, deeper. That's her nervous system shifting out of defense mode and into connection mode. But here's the part most men miss entirely. When a woman begins wanting to give herself to you, she becomes attentive to your emotional state. She starts noticing things about you that others overlook. If your mood shifts, even slightly, she picks up on it. She might check in on you in a way that doesn't feel obvious. Maybe she says, "Hey, how did that thing go?" Or, "You seemed a bit quiet earlier. Are you okay?" She won't label it as care, but that's exactly what it is. And emotional care is not something she offers casually. There was a woman I once worked with who described this perfectly. She said, "I didn't even realize I was doing it. I just started thinking about him more, wondering how his day was, hoping he was okay." And then something even more meaningful happens. She becomes vulnerable, but only in small, almost unplanned moments. She might share a fear, admit a mistake, reveal a dream. And when that happens, I want you to understand something very clearly. That is not small. That is not casual conversation. That is her opening a door, just a little, to see what you do next. Do you listen? Do you respect it? Or do you brush past it? Because in that moment, she's not just sharing information. She's testing emotional safety. And this is where your response matters more than anything. Not with grand gestures, but with presence, with patience, with the ability to hold space without trying to fix, control, or impress. Sometimes the strongest sign that a woman wants to give herself to you appears when she's trying to hide it. Her mind tells her to stay composed, to act normal, to protect her dignity, but her behavior, it reveals everything. She becomes more aware of you, not in a nervous, anxious way, but in a deeply attuned way. She notices when you walk into a room, when your energy shifts, when your attention moves away from her. And even if she pretends not to care, her body language tells the truth. I want you to reflect on something for a moment. Think about a time when you felt truly seen by someone, not judged, not analyzed, just understood. That feeling stays with you, doesn't it? It creates a sense of calm, of trust. That's exactly what she's searching for. And when she starts to feel it with you, these signals begin to emerge naturally. Now here's a question I want you to carry with you as you continue listening. Are you noticing these signals? Or have you been overlooking them? Because once you start seeing them, you can't unsee them. And if what I'm sharing with you is beginning to resonate, take a moment right now to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. I read them and I want to know, have you experienced this before without realizing what it meant? There's so much more happening beneath the surface and we're just beginning to uncover it. She wants you closer, but she will almost never say those words out loud. And that's where so many men become confused, because they're waiting for clarity in language, while she's expressing everything through behavior. Instead, she lets the truth leak through the smallest shifts. When a woman begins wanting to give herself to you emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually, her guard doesn't collapse all at once. It softens, it bends, it flickers. And those flickers are incredibly easy to overlook. Think about a flower that doesn't bloom the second sunlight touches it. It opens gradually, petal by petal, responding to warmth, safety, and consistency. A woman's emotional world works in a very similar way. She isn't just waiting for her turn to speak. She's absorbing you, watching your expressions, noticing your tone, feeling the meaning behind your words. And she doesn't do that for everyone. Let me share something real with you. A man once told me about a conversation he had with a woman he worked with. He said it was nothing special. but afterward, he couldn't shake the feeling that something was different. When I asked him why, he said, "It felt like she actually cared about what I was saying, like it mattered." That feeling wasn't imagined, that was emotional presence. And emotional presence is one of the earliest signs of deeper interest. You'll also notice how her eyes behave around you. Her gaze lingers, just a second longer than necessary. She's trying to understand you, not just look at you. And that kind of attention is deeply intimate. She might bring up something you said days ago. She's not doing this to impress you. She's doing it because your thoughts have started to matter to her. And when someone's thoughts matter to you, it means they've already begun to occupy space in your emotional world. Another powerful signal is mirroring. She starts aligning with you without even realizing it. Your humor, your tone, your rhythm. This isn't a conscious effort, it's psychological alignment. It's her mind and body saying, "This feels right." Now, this is something I want you to pay very close attention to. A woman's softness is not weakness. It's not something she gives away easily. So when you start seeing that gentler side of her, that's not casual. That's trust beginning to form. She might smile in a way that feels less guarded, more genuine. These are instinctive shifts. They don't come from strategy, they come from comfort. And comfort is the foundation of emotional openness. She tucks her hair behind her ear. She leans in slightly when she talks to you. She relaxes her shoulders. These are natural responses to feeling safe and connected. When a woman begins to feel emotionally drawn to you, she becomes more aware of your emotional state. If your energy changes, she senses it. If something is bothering you, she feels it before you even say a word. And she responds, not in a dramatic way, but in subtle, caring ways. Imagine you casually mention that you have something important coming up. Days later, she brings it up again. "Hey, how did that go?" Psychologically, it's huge. It means she stored that information. She held on to it because you matter. When a woman wants to give herself to you, she becomes vulnerable, but not all at once. She might share a fear, talking about a dream she hasn't told many people. And when she does, she's testing emotional safety. She's asking herself a silent question. Can I trust this man? And your answer isn't in your words, it's in your presence. Sometimes the strongest sign that a woman wants to give herself to you appears when she's actively trying not to show it. But her behavior reveals the truth anyway. She becomes more aware of you. She notices when you enter a room. She tracks your presence without meaning to. If your attention shifts away from her, she feels it. Not in a possessive way, but in a deeply emotional way. Watch how she reacts when you give attention to someone else. She won't create a scene, but you'll see it in subtle ways. Her voice might become quieter. She might withdraw for a moment. That reaction comes from emotional investment forming faster than she expected. Another powerful signal is how she begins to seek your approval in small, almost invisible ways. She might adjust her appearance slightly when she knows she'll see you. She might glance at you after saying something, as if checking your reaction. She wants you to see her at her best. When a woman starts trusting you with her unfiltered thoughts, that kind of emotional access is never random. It is a quiet invitation, an invitation into her inner world, and very few men ever recognize it for what it truly is. Have you ever had a woman open up to you, and you didn't realize how significant it was until much later? Most men have, and by the time they understand it, the moment has already passed. That's why awareness matters so much. Because when you recognize these signals in real time, everything changes. You respond differently. You become more present, more grounded, more intentional. And that's what she's hoping for. Not perfection, not performance, presence. If you're starting to see these patterns more clearly now, I want you to take a moment and reflect. Think about someone in your life. Do any of these signs feel familiar? Have you noticed these subtle shifts before? And if this is opening your eyes in a new way, go ahead and like the video and share your thoughts below. I want to hear what you're starting to notice, because this is where understanding begins to turn into awareness. Trust me, we're only going deeper from here. Now, let's take this even deeper, because the signals I'm about to share aren't just about curiosity. They're about instinctive emotional alignment. There comes a point when a woman's desire for a man moves beyond thought and into feeling. It becomes almost instinctual. You can see it in the way she allows herself to show different layers of her personality. Some days she may be soft. Other days she may be playful, teasing, or even slightly chaotic. This isn't inconsistency. It's intimacy. She's letting you witness the full spectrum of who she is. She'll find excuses to be close, near enough to feel your energy, but subtle enough to maintain the natural flow. Maybe she chooses to sit next to you when there are other open seats. Proximity is a psychological signal, a magnetic moment that says, "I want to be near you." Her laughter changes too. It becomes lighter, freer, and more unguarded when she's with you. That laughter is more than amusement. It's a form of emotional surrender. When a woman laughs freely, unrestrained, it's often one of the clearest signs she's opening her heart. You may also notice a shift in the way she asks questions. Deeper questions about your values, your beliefs, your boundaries. This is not interrogation. It's emotional exploration. She's mentally placing pieces of herself in your world and observing how they might fit. She allows herself to be influenced by you without feeling controlled. She'll take your advice seriously, remember your suggestions, and quietly implement things you've shared. Influence at this level is intimate and personal. She's inviting you into her internal decision-making. At this stage, her sharing becomes habitual but meaningful. She'll include you in small aspects of her life, updates about her day, minor frustrations, small victories. These threads weave you into her world. She's integrating you slowly, consistently, and intentionally. Her responsiveness also shifts. She begins to tune into your emotional tone with a heightened sensitivity. If you're quiet, she notices, this isn't something she can fake. Women only develop this level of emotional attunement with men they feel an authentic connection to, men who elicit safety and trust. Memory plays an important role too. She recalls details you might not even remember mentioning. Your favorite snack, a comment about your childhood. This is emotional prioritization. She's signaling that your inner world matters to her. That's powerful. Support comes naturally next. She begins to encourage you when you doubt yourself, subtly validate your strengths, and stand as a quiet backbone. This isn't about proving anything. It's about being present and invested. That level of support is rarely casual. It happens when a woman sees you as part of her world. Perhaps the most revealing gesture is vulnerability. She begins letting you see her softer weaknesses, moments of overwhelm or insecurity. And this is not a mistake. She's allowing you into spaces most people never access. And when she does, it's a silent question. Can you hold this with care? And then comes one of the most profound shifts: alignment. When a woman wants to give herself to you, she begins synchronizing her internal rhythm with yours. It's not imitation, it's resonance. You'll notice she becomes more patient, more attentive. She's choosing to hold space with you. That's intimacy forming. She also becomes protective of the connection. She keeps certain moments between you sacred. This isn't secrecy, it's safeguarding the emotional energy she's beginning to invest in you. Women only protect connections this carefully when they see potential for something meaningful. And influence continues to deepen. She begins valuing your perspective in ways she didn't anticipate. She's growing in relation to you, not because she feels pressured, but because your presence enhances her life. This is emotional integration, the point at which her world and yours begin to weave together. As these signs accumulate, her certainty about you begins to form. This isn't a flashy declaration. It's a quiet, steady understanding that you are a man she can trust, that your presence is stabilizing. She begins imagining a future where you are a constant part of her life, not a guest. She sees your energy in daily spaces, imagines your voice during routine moments, and envisions how your steadiness would feel when life becomes heavy. This is emotional projection of the highest order, reserved only for those she truly trusts. And here's what most men don't realize. Safety for a woman isn't about dominance or control. It's about consistency, respect, and emotional presence. When she allows you into her emotional world, she's offering a sacred space. This is the ultimate signal. She also begins testing love and emotional compatibility in subtle ways. She shares fears or insecurities to see if you can handle the weight of her heart. She observes your response, watches your patience. This is a quiet assessment of character, resilience, and emotional intelligence. At the same time, she starts matching your effort without being prompted, initiating conversation, supporting your growth. These behaviors are her choice, not obligation. This is when a woman's emotional investment becomes active, not passive. She's choosing you. And when you recognize these signs, the response required isn't grandiose. It's mature, steady, and present. She's not looking for perfection. She's looking for reliability, awareness, and emotional clarity. How you respond determines whether the connection deepens. If you felt a shift inside as you've been hearing this, it's because the patterns I've outlined are awakening awareness in you. Step into the man who moves with intention, listens with presence, and loves with quiet strength. And remember, if this insight resonates, like, subscribe, and share. You're learning to see with clarity, which is the foundation for meaningful connection.